Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us to honor the recipients of the 2020 Young Alumni Award. My name is Danny Gordon, a 2017 Wartburg College graduate and the Assistant Director for Alumni and Parent Relations. Tonight, I'm joined by members of the Alumni Board, Institutional Advancement, Students United Executive Team, and President and Christy Colson. Though this is not the ideal way we sought to honor this group of distinguished young alumni, we are grateful for technology and the ability to move forward with this recognition. I want to sincerely thank you all for joining us tonight for this unusual but very special evening. First, we will open with prayer, and I've asked Tori Michelli, a fourth-year double major in religion and education, to lead us.
Welcome, everybody. Will you join me in prayer? Gracious God, thank you for all of the ways that you have worked through these young leaders in our world. Thank you for calling leaders to live lives of vocation and service. Help us not to take for granted the gift that it is to share your light in the world to the nations, our communities, and especially to our neighbors. Help us have eyes to see the needs around us and for the energy for us to respond to these needs in joyous hope and with unending grace. Continue your work to love, encourage, and nurture these alumni as they continue to live out the cornerstones of faith, service, leadership, and learning. Thank you so much for the love and care that you have shown over us, especially over this past year. In Jesus' holy name we pray, amen.
Thank you, Tori. I'd like to now introduce Mike Fransman. Mike currently serves as our Alumni Board President. He lives in Bettendorf with his wife and his 2 kids and owns a periodontics clinic.
Mike, I think you're muted.
All right. It wouldn't be a Zoom meeting if somebody didn't do that. I'm glad to be the first. So on behalf of the more than 24,000 Wartburg alumni from around the world, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you tonight. As Danny mentioned, my name is Mike Fransman. I'm a graduate with the class of 2000. As Alumni Board President, I have had the pleasure of meeting and learning about many Wartburg College alumni. The recipients tonight are shining examples of what a Wartburg College education can lead to. Before we introduce the 2020 Young Alumni Award recipients, we'd like to recognize a few of Wartburg's finest students. Jared Feigenbaum, Liz Stang, and Brooklyn Ferry serve on the executive team for Students Unite. Students Unite aims to safeguard Wartburg College traditions, foster a sense of pride within the Wartburg community, and serve as the link between students and alumni. President Jared Feigenbaum, a 4th-year social work major, will now say a few words on behalf of the organization.
Thank you, Mike. It is very exciting to be here tonight. This is my 3rd Young Alumni Recognition event, and it is never a disappointment to hear from all the well-deserving alums that receive this award each year. Like Mike said, tonight I'm here representing Students Unite, one of the many organizations that I am a part of here on campus. Students Unite has been something that I've been a part of since my very first day of starting college. It was the very first student organization that I signed up for at the Involvement Fair during orientation. Now today, I get to lead this amazing group in all that it can provide our college community in order to fulfill the mission of the college, fulfill the mission of the alumni office, and uphold the traditions that make this place special. Being a part of this group has allowed me to take on leadership roles, be a mentor to underclassmen, serve my community on service trips, and connect with the many alums both locally and around the country. But most importantly, it has given me an office full of people to call my friends and mentors for a lifetime. Being involved on campus has shaped me into who I am today and has been a critical part of my Wartburg journey. I'm incredibly thankful for all the opportunities and all the people that I've met while being involved in such a special organization. And even though in a few short months I have to leave this place I call home, I know that Students Unite is in great hands with those who will follow me. Now, young alumni recipients, I want to extend my sincere congratulations on your award, and I wish you all the best of luck as you continue your careers. And hopefully someday soon, we can all connect together in person and celebrate all that we have accomplished. Thank you, and go Knights.
Thank you, Jared. And thank you to Brooklyn and Liz for joining us. I'm so fortunate to get to work so closely with these three to enhance stewardship, spirit, and philanthropy within this campus community. Now I'd like to introduce Paul Mugan. Paul is a 1990 Wartburg graduate and our alumni board president-elect. Paul is a science teacher at Waverly Shell Rock High School, and he resides in Waverly with his wife. His daughter Anna is a 2020 Wartburg graduate.
Thank you, Danny. The Wartburg College Alumni Office has long awarded annual alumni citations to recognize alumni contributions and support to the college, vocational and professional achievements in community and church leadership. The more than 200 recipients of the Alumni Citation Award are true examples of the pillars of the mission of Wartburg College: leadership, faith, and learning. The requirements of the Alumni Citation Award are so rigorous, and rightfully so, that most alumni would need to wait until quite later in their lives to be eligible. However, we knew many young alumni also deserved our recognition. This evening marks our 8th annual Young Alumni Award recognition. It's been a privilege getting to know so many wonderful Wartburg alumni, and I am happy to be here to honor our 2020 Young Alumni Award recipients tonight. I'm going to turn it over to the rest of our alumni board for recipient introductions. First, Alicia Faust.
Thanks, Paul. Good evening. First, the college will recognize Ben Brannaman from the class of 2009. Ben was nominated by Matt Tatey, a Wartburg graduate from the class of 2001. A word that brings together Brannaman's work and volunteer efforts is raising, as in raising funds for nonprofits in his career and raising up the needs of others in his community and church. After graduating from Wartburg in 2009 with a degree in business administration, Brannaman started a career in nonprofit fundraising with the University of Iowa Foundation and was part of the development team that completed a $50 million campaign for Iowa's first freestanding children's hospital. A highlight for him was working with Wartburg College Dance Marathon to sponsor a room in the new Stead Family Children's Hospital, which opened in 2017. Now, on the 5th floor, a preparation and recovery room bears a plaque with Wartburg's name. Answering a calling to work with Christian ministry, Brannaman became a director of development for the Eastern U.S. with the Navigators, an organization focused on sharing the gospel message, developing disciples through relationships, and encouraging spiritual growth across life stages. In July 2019, he became area director of donor relations for Compassion International, a child advocacy ministry focused on releasing children from extreme poverty in 25 countries around the world. Brannaman uses his skills in fundraising to benefit his community too. Quote, as our school foundation president, Ben has raised many thousands of dollars to make sure each building has what they need to see every student succeed, wrote his nominator. He helped raise over $200,000 in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks to help fully fund a project within the school's new performing arts center, end quote. When the community of Mount Vernon was raising funds for a new community center, Brannaman's leadership helped raise over $2 million to get to the goal. At Veritas Church in downtown Cedar Rapids, Brannaman is invested in raising up others in faith by teaching the Bible to kids and leading adult studies. Quote, his commitment to Christ is one of the most genuine I've seen, and his practical application of faith that has great impact on all that come around Ben, end quote, wrote his nominator. When needs arise around him, Brannaman raises his hand to help. He has used his expertise on the development committee at Bridgehaven Pregnancy Support Center in Cedar Rapids and serves as a philanthropic advisor for Eastern Iowa FCA. He's also the race director of his local Heritage Days 5K. He and his wife, Brittany, live with their children, Riley, Reese, and Brody in Lisbon. The Wartburg College Alumni Board proudly presents Ben Brannaman with the Young Alumni Award for his leadership, volunteerism, and fundraising work in his community and around the world.
Thanks, Alicia. Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Well, you pretty much said it. I think you took my job for me. Great job. Well, thank you, everyone. Good evening. First, let me extend my deepest gratitude to the Alumni Board for honoring me with this meaningful award. I'm truly humbled and congratulations to the other award recipients as well. It's fun to see so many familiar faces. I want to thank my nominator and friend, Matt Tatey, who's currently working a basketball game here in Mount Vernon tonight, so isn't able to be with us. In addition to working together in support of our Mount Vernon community, Matt and I both call Veritas Church in Cedar Rapids home and share a heart for the redeeming power of the gospel. We were also training buddies a couple years ago when Matt competed in the Drake Relays Masters 800, because he is slightly older than I am. I appreciate you, buddy, and many thanks to Coach Jay for the killer workouts along the way. Joining me at home tonight are my wife, Brittany, daughters, Riley and Reese, and son, Brody. I love you guys to infinity and beyond. And I also wish to send my deepest gratitude to my parents for their support in helping make my Wartburg experience possible. I'm forever grateful. It has been so fun to prepare my remarks for this evening as I have reflected on my Wartburg journey. From early memories of Snow Valley basketball camps to grueling track workouts with my buddies Dave and the now famous Derek Paith, to a semester at Wartburg West, to watching my siblings, Alex, Corey, and Jenna, or as Gene likes to call them, baby Brannamans, right? To watching them graduate as well. I look back so fondly on my Wartburg experience, and I greatly appreciate the impact of friends, teammates, professors, and mentors along the way. Wartburg served as a catalyst in a number of areas in my life, and in my short time tonight, I want to touch on just a few of those. I do so in a spirit of gratitude, recognizing and just reacting in a way that's just so humbled by just the incredible ways God's blessed me along the way. First, Wartburg is where I was introduced to the Navigators, a discipleship ministry God used to lead me into a personal relationship with Jesus. I have such just fun and strong memories of sitting in the conditorei, yes, always with a cinnamon scone in hand, with Navigator Rep Kyle Nelson, walking through the scriptures and learning about God's unending love for me. My time at Wartburg West for my already growing love for Colorado, and particularly the mountains. I've spent the last 6 years working for Colorado-based companies, in addition to numerous family vacations over the years. And while the pandemic has slowed my travels over the past year, I look forward to returning to my home away from home soon. But perhaps most importantly, Wartburg set me on a path towards discovering my calling. I recognized a particular interest in philanthropy, the mobilizing of resources in pursuit of a common goal. Multiple service trips, I think at least one with Amy, around the country helped better inform my understanding of coming alongside those in need. I witnessed Coach Newsom model what it looked like to have a genuine passion for your calling. Among many others at Wartburg, these influences set me on a pursuit, and I'm so grateful to be living that out, not only here in my Mount Vernon community, but around the world in my role with Compassion International. In my service to the ministry, I connect Compassion ministry partners with strategic funding opportunities beyond child sponsorship, all with an aim to better serve children in extreme poverty. In addition to advocating on behalf of our beneficiaries and their families around the globe, I also seek to assist the ministry partners I work with in accomplishing their philanthropic goals and stewarding the resources God has entrusted them with. That's a lot of detail to say I have an awesome job. Compassion works across 39 countries to resource and empower local churches to release children from poverty. We work in partnership with over 8,000 frontline church partners to serve more than 2.2 million children and their families. And this has been especially important throughout this pandemic season. While COVID-19 has had a major impact here in the United States, the developing world has seen devastating impacts due to lockdowns and lost incomes. Many families are struggling just to put food on the table. And thank God, Compassion has equipped the church around the globe to stand in the gap, as we are currently serving the urgent needs of an estimated 10 million children and their families. This is in no way a sales pitch, but I just wanted to share a little bit about the work that I get the privilege to do. It's an honor to join God in his work through Compassion, spreading Christ's love to the least of these around the world. And if you want to learn a really cool story, just go to buildastadium.com to learn a little bit more about a really neat partnership that's emerged from this crisis. I want to close by sharing a verse from Ephesians 3:20, which has been such a blessing to me. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or think, according to the power at work within us. Thanks for listening. And again, thank you so much for humbling me with this incredible honor.
Congratulations, Ben. The college will now recognize Trevor Carolyn from the class of 2011. Trevor was nominated by his sister Shay, a 2020 Wartburg graduate, and Deborah Lors. Looking at the list of experiences that Carolyn Carolyn had as a Wartburg student, it's easy to see how his love of law, music, and service took root and have continued to grow intertwined. As a Wartburg student studying political science, he served the student body as recorder, vice president, and then president his senior year. He participated in service trips and spent a May term on Capitol Hill with his advisor and political science classmates. Carolyn also was a 4-year member of the Wartburg College Choir and grew as an organist, accompanying the choir on many of the great pipe organs of Europe his senior year. After graduating from Wartburg in 2011, Carolyn studied at the University of St. Thomas School of Law in Minneapolis, and his leadership and service didn't take a break. He was the senior editor of the Journal of Law and Public Policy, a class representative for student government, and a representative on the faculty curriculum committee. He received a Dean's Award in Immigration Law and Immigration Clinic and was named Family Law Student of the Year. Even in law school, Carolyn found time for music. He was organist for the St. Thomas More Chapel Choir, and for several years was the bass section leader in the 100-member Cathedral Choir at the Basilica of St. Mary in Minneapolis. As a member of the semi-professional Schola Cantorum, he twice performed in Europe, singing for His Holiness Pope Francis and Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI at the Vatican. After earning his Juris Doctorate in 2014, he became a judicial law clerk in Minneapolis. In 2018, he became a federal judicial law clerk in Phoenix for a federal district court judge with one of the highest civil caseloads in the country. In his current role, he researches issues and drafts court orders in all areas of federal, civil, and criminal litigation. His faith and love of music find expression in a part-time position as Associate Director of Music and organist at All Saints Episcopal Church and Day School. At All Saints, he assists in overseeing and directing the largest Episcopal Church music program in the Desert Southwest and is principal organist for all services. In 2018, Carrollton was named an E. Power Biggs Fellow by the Oregon Historical Society. And Europe beckons again. This July, Carolyn will serve as organist in residence at St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin, Ireland. In addition to his law career and passion for music, Carolyn volunteers with the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals Court Works Program, where he mentors youth in the federal legal process and helps students prepare for moot court competition. He also teaches financial literacy to students through the National Care Organization. Through immigration clinics, he assists children and young adults in completing their legal paperwork. He also served his alma mater as a member of the Wartburg College Alumni Board from 2014 to 2018. Carolyn is married to Dr. Alexander Shiota Carolyn, a 2013 Wartburg graduate. They welcome their first child and future member of the Wartburg class of 2042, Juliana Maria, in April. For his achievements in and passion for music, law, and service, the Wartburg College Alumni Board is pleased to present Trevor Carolan with the Young Alumni Award.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Zach. Nice to see you. I think you were in DC on that trip as well, and in
I was.
of course, on the choir trips.
Yes.
So good evening from sunny Phoenix. I won't spare you all with the details about how wonderful it is in Phoenix this time of year. Alexandra is still in surgery at Mayo right now, so let's see how well Juliana complies with letting me give my speech here. But first, I would like to thank all of the Alumni Board for their work and for this award, in addition to congratulating all the other recipients for all of your distinguished service. It's really an honor to be recognized alongside of such fine individuals. I'd like to thank my two nominators, Dr. Deborah Lors, who's the former Dean of Students at Wartburg, We worked closely together in my leadership of student government. We met together multiple times per week. I think only one of those was usually scheduled, and the rest of them was me in her office frantically trying to put out some fire that had come up on the student body. And she always had sound advice and perspective for any situation we were facing. And second, my other nominator, my youngest sister, Shay, who I'm so very proud. Shay graduated in May, as Zach said. She also graduated from Allen College of Nursing with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and is currently a registered nurse at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester. Want to see everybody? As is often the focus of a Wartburg event, we are drawn to the mission statement of the college and its 4 pillars. And I'd like to talk a little bit about them tonight. I'm always reading mission statements, whether businesses, churches, law firms, or other organizations, and it's really fascinating to see how these groups view themselves, but also how they want to be viewed by other people on the outside. Now, nearly every employer these days has a mission statement, and many employees can recite parts of them. However, I work for an entity that actually doesn't have a formal mission statement, and that's the federal judiciary, the 3rd branch of the federal government. Or as we like to say, the framers considered us last, but certainly not least, because they gave the judiciary the power to review and declare unconstitutional acts by both the 1st and 2nd branches, the Congress and the president. But because we don't have a formal mission statement to turn to, I really like to keep in mind the 4 pillars of Wartburg's mission statement in my daily work. Yes, Juliana keeps them in mind as well. So learning, service, and leadership are fairly easy to incorporate into my daily work. As a court of general jurisdiction, I'm constantly learning new areas of the law and statutes that have been developed over hundreds of years and span hundreds of thousands of laws and regulations. As a government employee, there are many ways that I feel that I'm doing a service, both to the parties in cases that are before us on any given matter, and a public service to the people at large. And I have countless opportunities to perform leadership through mentorship of law students who serve as externs in our chambers, newly admitted attorneys who are just starting out, and opportunities to write for regional and national publications. Now, admittedly, the harder pillar to find daily inspiration in my courthouse work is faith. Now, luckily, as you heard, I have what I call an after-school job as associate music director at All Saints. So that is a way for me personally, an outlet to share my faith with others. But my law job, it's a bit harder. You know, of course, one of the central tenets of our democracy is the separation of church and state. And in the law, that translates to a complete lack of any sacred influence from the secular work of analyzing and interpreting the law. For me, though, I like to think of the faith component as faith in our constitutional system, faith in the laws and in the government, faith that it works even when it's tested. This secular faith in the system of government is similar to the sacred faith that many of us profess and that we find in the Wartburg Mission Statement. Almost done, dear. But I feel that the duality of the singular word faith can serve us well in addition to the religious faith that many of us espouse. So with that, I think that these pillars in the Wartburg Mission Statement are really a gift to all of us. And I'm truly blessed that Wartburg has been a part of my life and will continue to be. So thanks again, and I wish we could all be together in person.
Congratulations, Trevor. The college will now recognize Chikemma Ezirim, also from the class of 2011. Chikemma was nominated by Nabuni Nawana, a 2009 Wartburg graduate and past Young Alumni Award recipient. It's no surprise that a Wartburg alumna who began her career on Wall Street would be honored for her work accomplishments. But Ezirim's leadership with nonprofit work, a passion that was developed as a Wartburg student, is perhaps even more commendable. After graduating summa cum laude from Wartburg in 2011 with a bachelor's degree in computer information systems, Ezirim began her career in New York with Credit Suisse, a large Wall Street firm. Her work as a project manager earned her a Raising the Bar Award as she managed the build out of various technology platforms for trading and loan origination. She joined Goldman Sachs in 2014, co-leading their expansion efforts into Latin American markets. As an associate project manager, she also led a cross-functional team of 20 to strengthen the company's customer protection systems. In addition to her demanding career, her Christian faith has led her to continue a calling to help others. While at Wartburg, Ezirim and another Nigerian student were awarded a $10,000 grant from Davis Projects for Peace to build a water well in rural Nigeria. That project, called Water for Life Nigeria, would benefit more than 5,000 people. The project was recognized as the best executed project in 2010, which led to an invitation to the Clinton Global Initiative University. Ezirim continued with Water for Life Nigeria until 2019 as CEO, directing strategic projects in Nigeria, such as water sanitation and hygiene, called WASH, and forming partnerships with other nonprofits. Ezirim's desire to meet the needs of Nigerians led her to be involved with another nonprofit, Empowering Minds for Tomorrow. As executive director, she leads the organization in its mission of empowering underprivileged children by improving their learning environment to prepare them for future success. Since 2012, when she designed the strategy for the Pioneer Project, Ezirim has helped the nonprofit provide materials to 1,700 pupils in Nigeria. To improve her leadership and organizational skills, Ezirim earned an MBA in 2018 from Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University, one of the top business schools in the US. She was a recipient of Kellogg's full merit-based scholarship for exceptional leadership in professional endeavors. Since 2018, Ezirim has worked as a manager of corporate strategy and development at Xandr Inc., a digital advertising and media company owned by AT&T. She is responsible for overseeing key strategic initiatives, formulating plans and approach, building partnerships to achieve mission-critical company initiatives, and launching enterprise products. At Xandr, she founded a public speaking club under Toastmasters International, providing a forum for employers to improve their professional development goals. She continues to serve as president of the club. Ezirim also hosted a 2-day She Summit conference live stream at the company to engage global workplace conversations about women's issues. Her nominator writes, "I have seen her break the glass ceiling of any situation she finds herself in." Ezirim and her husband Kenneth live in Frisco, Texas. For her achievements in her career and her leadership in helping the people of Nigeria through 2 nonprofit organizations, the Wartburg College Alumni Board is pleased to present Chikemma Ezirim with the Young Alumni Award. Unfortunately, Chikemma is not able to join us tonight, but for a good reason. She and her husband welcomed their first child this week, Ava Adama Ezirim, a future member of the Wartburg class of 2043.
Congratulations, Chikemma. We will now introduce Kristin Pavelec from the class of 2005. Kristin was nominated by her college roommate, Kelsey Baker, also a 2005 graduate. Most teachers hold tightly to their summers off with good reason, but Pavelec, a 4th grade teacher in the Middleton Cross Plains School District, might be even more busy at times during her annual summer break than the rest of the year. For several years, Pavelec has been the director of her local Camp Invention Day, bringing STEM concepts to life for children through the nationwide program. Under Pavelec's leadership, which includes managing 240 campers, hiring and managing staff, and communicating with parents, The local program has grown to become the largest in Wisconsin. Also, during the summer, she is the director of the Vacation Bible School program at St. Luke's Lutheran Church in Middleton, creating a faith-building program to serve 160 children and managing more than 100 volunteers. One year, she set up boat rides for the VBS kids on a Madison Lake to help teach the story of Jesus calming the sea. Pavelec has also served on St. Luke's Senior Pastor Call Committee, dedicating many hours to identify the next faith leader at the church. Quote, "Through anything that Kristin is involved in here at church, as well as in the community, her faith shines through all of it," writes her pastor. "The faith that's required to lead a lot of young people as well as volunteers, and the faithful patience and trust in God's timing for a call process is demonstrated by Kristin's leadership," end quote. As an educator, Pavelec's love of learning is apparent. After earning her bachelor's at Wartburg with a double major in elementary education and business administration, she went on to earn a master's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in educational leadership and policy analysis. She also has earned certification to become a K-12 principal or director of instruction. At her school, Pavelec's leadership and service are evident even outside of the classroom. She serves on several teams, including school improvement, nonviolent crisis intervention, and science curriculum renewal. She has served as a mentor for new teachers and co-teaches with special education and ELL teachers to create an inclusive, welcoming environment. She has embraced learning about new technology to foster learning and student engagement, sought out training about culturally responsive practices, and steps into the role of substitute assistant principal on days when her support and leadership is needed. Quote, "She is energized by learning and improving her practice," wrote her nominator. "The learning we have done around equity, historical marginalization, best practices in math, literacy, and science, and social emotional learning and trauma and more is taken on with vigor by Kristin," end quote. Quote, "She thoughtfully makes time to honor the ones who have helped shape her life," wrote another nominator. Pavelec, who visits her aging high school clarinet teacher each year, helped make one of his dreams come true by traveling out of state to ride a steam engine. Pavelec's husband, Derek, from the class of 2004, have a daughter, Annabelle, and a son, Isaac. For her dedication to creating educational experiences all year long, leading in her school and serving in her church, the Wartburg College Alumni Board is pleased to present Kristin Pavelec with the Young Alumni Award.
Thank you so very much. What an honor it is to be here this evening. A big thank you to the Alumni Award Committee and as well as the Alumni Board for putting on such a wonderful evening event. A year later, but still nonetheless special. So thank you for putting it on hold, but not forgetting about us because we really do appreciate it. I'd love to just give a couple of thank yous to so many people who build my life and the relationships within it. To my husband, Derek, who I met way back in 2002 at Wartburg. He was in the choir and I was in the band, and life just works really well when you have musicians. So, so many wonderful memories with that. We have two wonderful children, Annabelle, who's 9, and Isaac, who just turned 5 this week. My parents and my brother, my brother attended Wartburg 2 years after I started, and getting to have him at Wartburg was just a really special moment for me. And my in-laws, who have treated me like a daughter ever since I was welcomed into their family 15 years ago, believe it or not. And then to the many friends that I have, Kelsey for nominating me. We met way back freshman year in Science for Society. I don't even know if that's still a class anymore at Wartburg, but it was way back then, let me tell you. And to many other college friends who are actually listening tonight, for the many people who nominated me, my pastor at the time and my new pastor, our senior new pastor, Pastor Tim Mavey, who's on this evening, as well as many other friends and colleagues in the faith community. Choosing to attend Wartburg was truly one of the best decisions of my life. Not only did it give me some lifelong friendships and a wonderful spouse, but it also gave me that foundation to grow in faith, leadership, service, and learning. Those 4 pillars really do ground me as I go about my daily life, which these days centers mainly around children. I think when we really open our hearts and our minds and we listen to what children have to say, they teach us again and again the truth and what really matters. Whether or not we want to hear it, they're still going to tell us. So be prepared and be ready. They remind us to laugh, to learn, and to question, and most importantly, just to cherish those small moments. Wartburg really helped me discover my true calling of working with children. It challenged me to think about different possibilities and look for new opportunities. It's where my adult journey began, and it's a place that I continue to go back to over and over again. That feels like home. It might help that my in-laws only live 15 minutes away from Wartburg, but I still go back regardless. I could not have chosen a better college to attend for my undergraduate studies, and I will forever be a Wartburg Knight. Thank you so much for this award.
Congratulations, Kristin. We will now introduce Amy Tucker from the class of 2009. Amy was nominated by Deborah Lors and myself. Sometimes the minor things become the major things. That could be said of Tucker, who had a minor in leadership at Wartburg, but would come to be known for just that characteristic in her career and community. Through service and leadership, Tucker strives to strengthen those around her, whether it's supporting college students or leading programs in her Northeast Iowa town. After graduating from Wartburg College in 2010 with a degree in community sociology, she never left the realm of higher education. Tucker went on to study educational leadership and policy studies at Iowa State University, earning a master's degree in 2012. Her heart for assisting students found expression in her work as a graduate assistant with Destination Iowa State, a welcome program for the university's new students. In 2012, she was named the Outstanding Graduate Student in the region by the National Orientation Directors Association. Tucker's career in higher education brought her to Upper Iowa University in Fayette, where she became Director of Student Activities in 2012. In that role, she developed a diverse offering of student activities and managed more than 30 college clubs and organizations. In 2015, she became the Director of Academic Success at Upper Iowa, overseeing efforts to support students in meeting their academic goals and chairing the school's Early Alert program, a perfect blend of leadership and service on campus. One nominator writes, quote, Amy is a fierce advocate for supporting vulnerable students by overseeing the emergency fund for students at Upper Iowa who have unforeseen costs that arise during the academic year. Amy often stays late to meet with students and is diligent in planning programs and events to reach the growing diverse population of student needs, end quote. In recognition of her work for students, the Iowa Student Personnel Association awarded Tucker its Outstanding New Professional Award in 2015. Tucker's leadership and service extend into the Fayette community as well. She helped start the Fayette Community Garden, is a member of Friends of the Fayette Community Library, volunteers with the local mentoring program for at-risk youth and the Fayette Recreation Board, and helps organize volunteers for park beautification during Fayette Appreciation Day. In 2017, Tucker was tapped to fill an open city council seat, and in November 2017 and 2019, she won re-election to that post, where she uses her platform to improve her community. She was awarded the Fayette Mayor's Award for her work in implementing the community garden. Her nominator writes, quote, I am so proud of Amy's willingness to try new things in her career and in her community. Her character and actions exemplify the Wartburg mission. Her life is meaningful through her leadership and service, and she is never afraid to trust her faith or continue to learn from others, end quote. For serving her students and being a leader in her community, the Wartburg College Alumni Board is pleased to present Amy Tucker with the Young Alumni Award.
Thank you. I'm incredibly honored and humbled to receive this award. Thank you to the Alumni Board and congratulations to my fellow nominees. The caliber of student that Wartburg develops results in so many graduates that are deserving of this honor. I'd like to thank my nominators for taking their time to submit my information for consideration. Emily Hein is one of my wonderful roommates from Wartburg and is accomplished in her own right, earning her PhD and serving as an associate professor of nutrition at the College of St. Ben, St. John's in Minnesota. And her research in food insecurity actually helped inspire my own project involvement in creating a community garden and a food pantry at my campus. Amy Crowe Sunleath has known me before I was born, growing up in the same town, also as a teacher's kid, and babysitting for my brothers when she was in high school. I've come to believe that she and her husband Art must have had me drink the Wartburg water back when they babysat me a few times on campus when I was a baby. Wartburg ended up being the only college I applied to attend, so must have been the water. She has been a cheerleader from afar throughout my life. Living in a mission-driven environment for my 4 years at Wartburg with amazing support and opportunities to live that mission set me up for success in so many parts of my life. Being from the small Iowa town of Sumner, college offered opportunities to interact with peers from all over the world, experience new perspectives, and apply what I was learning in the classroom to everyday life experiences. Being a member of the Wartburg Choir, I got to pursue my passion for singing while traveling the world with my friends. I got to go experience New York City and Denver, Colorado in May terms. My eyes were opened during 4 service trips to New Orleans and a trip my senior year to East St. Louis, Illinois, where I learned to dig deeper into my understanding of social problems and develop the skills to help find solutions in my own communities as an adult. Being on orientation staff made me realize the importance of building community and belonging within those communities as well. My 4 years at Wartburg had many high points that made it so very worth it, but it was not without its challenges. Most notably, during my freshman year, my dad was diagnosed with a rare cancer. He passed away the summer before my junior year, but I had the amazing support from friends, roommates, faculty, and staff throughout that journey. And I owe a lot to that support system for believing in me and inspiring my resilience to still be able to be so involved in my college experience and graduate on time. My experiences working in the Center for Community Engagement as a work study student and the Student Life Office in the summer, as well as a student leader, gave me opportunities and a skill set that helped me realize my passion and calling for working in higher education. I earned my master's degree from Iowa State, and I feel incredibly fortunate to work in my chosen field and in a position where I get to support students in many of the ways that I was supported myself as a student at Wartburg. Because of Wartburg, I have continued to live a life of leadership and service as a spirited expression of my faith and learning. It's one of my party tricks. I can still say it without looking it up. Being involved in my community and in local government to solve problems and serve the community in which I live has been, it's something that's come very naturally. It's been a natural continuation of the lessons I've learned as a student. I'm honored to have family, friends, and some Wartburg faculty and staff here to celebrate tonight. The depth and realness of relationships I made as a student that have carried into my life as an alum have been invaluable. I'd like to thank my family for instilling the importance of education throughout my life. Mom, thank you for continued lessons. Your catchphrase of "it's just the right thing to do" while growing up was the perfect segue into living the Wartburg mission. Wartburg faculty and staff from my era, thank you for supporting me and providing so many opportunities for me to grow. I appreciate how you held space for me, whether a physical space to hang out and probably bug you, or to have real life conversations. Rachel, my perfectly matched first year roommate, I'm so grateful for your friendship since the very beginning of our Be Orange days. And my 7 KV 302, our Knights Village 302 roommates. You've taught me so much over the years and share many of my favorite Wartburg memories. You are still my go-to people to share successes and struggles, and I'm a better person for knowing each of you. Thank you again for this incredible honor. I'll do my best to continue representing Wartburg by living the mission each day.
Congratulations, Amy. And congratulations again to our 5 outstanding young alumni. We're extremely proud of these graduates who have contributed so much to their callings, who have made a significant difference in the lives of others, and who have served their communities. We thank you. Now I'm pleased to welcome Wartburg's president, Dr. Darrell Colson, to offer a few remarks. President Colson.
Thanks, Paul. It's always such a such a pleasure to attend these events. And I have to confess, I was kind of dreading tonight's event because it's not real, it's virtual. But it turns out I like this one almost as much as the ones that are real, because y'all did such a great job of reminding us of what's really important. As I get older, I know more and more of the award recipients, so I'm privileged to know 4 of the 5 in this group, and to have really fond memories of them when they were students, and to see how they've developed over the succeeding years is well, it's inspiring. I mean, that's all there is to it. When I talk to prospective students and their parents, I often talk about our mission. And Amy, I am impressed that you can still rattle it off without a pause. I often talk to them about our mission, and I talk about the points of the mission, those pillars that Trevor talked about. I talk about and stressing that what we're about at Wartburg is developing within students, helping them develop really those skills and attributes of leadership and service. In the back of my mind is that wonderful passage from Martin Luther in his essay, The Freedom of a Christian, where he says that the Christian is the most free Lord of all, and at the same time, the most dutiful servant of all, by which he means that God's grace liberates us so that we can serve other people. And when I hear your citations and I hear y'all talk, I realize how utterly true that is. It's so fascinating to me that what I'm standing up there talking to parents about and their children, these high school kids, talking to them about our hope is realized in what y'all have done, the way you 5 have lived your lives, the passion for service and leadership, and across the gamut. That's the thing that really struck me tonight listening to you. It's not that you've become so overly dedicated to a single vocation that you ignore everything else. It's that you are all called and answer calls to serve throughout. Ben not only has served a number of charitable organizations, and I got to say, I'm really impressed with the work you're doing right now, Ben. But not only that, but then those community-based organizations, even a 5K for this town's Heritage Days. Trevor talked really eloquently about the way his life is sort of what is it, the after school job that he by day he serves us. He serves us Americans working in the federal judiciary. But his passion, his sort of after school job is serving people with the gift of music and enabling them to worship. I still remember Chikemma's passion when she was a student for Nigeria, and it is amazing to me, fascinating to me, validating for me, right? It tells me I'm telling the truth when I talk to prospective students, their parents. It's validating for me that she has gone on to become quite successful in business, never ever losing that passion for the people of Nigeria, and particularly the children in Nigeria. To hear Kristin's citation and to hear her talk about her vocation, her calling to teach, but that apparently that calling, her after school job is kind of like her real job too. So she's constantly teaching. She's teaching in the summer. She's teaching at church. She is a teacher who teaches in so many different domains. And then Amy, of course, demonstrates that the passion to serve students can also be coupled with the passion to serve her town, her city, her community, her neighbors. I mean, it is that bundle of leadership and service to almost as many as people as y'all can come across. That is inspiring for me, and it empowers me, it energizes me, it validates exactly what I've been saying. So look, to all 5 of you, I am extremely grateful for the way you have lived out that mission. And I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity really just to hear you again tonight, and to remember having spent time with at least 4 of you, and to look forward to being able to do that again. So Godspeed to all of you. Continue doing what you're doing. Wow. And I think back to you, Mike.
Thanks, President Colson. I'm going to double check that I'm not muted. All right. We are truly blessed to have so many outstanding alumni. As a reminder, if you have anyone in mind who you think is deserving of consideration for a Young Alumni Award, please let us know. More information about how to nominate an alumnus can be found at wartburg.edu/young-alumni. The nomination deadline for the recipient class of 2022 is November 15th. Now, as is our custom, we would like to finish today's celebration with the singing of the loyalty song. We have asked Catherine Opperman, a third-year pre-med biology major, to lead us. Feel free to join at home. Catherine.
College of our brightest days, unto thee we chant our praise. Ne'er thy name shall cease to be a most happy memory. Thine the spirit we love best, finest in this our West, and we sing with loyalty, Wartburg College, hail to thee.
Thank you so much, Catherine, and thank you all once again for joining us. Please join me in congratulating our recipients one more time.